Man is the only creature who refuses to be what he is. Albert Camus. What happens when you really start to see people? Not the curated image, not the pleasantries, not the mask they offer the world, but the raw, unfiltered truth beneath. Does it feel like bitterness? Does it curdle into cynicism? Have you convinced yourself that this growing distance, this quiet ache of disillusionment, means you're becoming hateful? You've been told clarity is enlightenment, a gentle awakening. But what if clarity feels like detachment? What if seeing clearly feels cold? Imagine standing on a high vantage point, looking down at a complex city. From afar, it's a beautiful tapestry of lights. But as you zoom in, you see the tangled traffic, the isolated figures, the decay hidden in plain sight. This is clarity. It doesn't negate the beauty, but it reveals the whole picture. The premise we explore today is this: you don't hate people. You just see them clearly now. And that clarity, that sharp-edged awareness, is often mistaken for negativity. But it's something far more profound. It's the beginning of real understanding, real detachment, and ultimately, real freedom. This journey doesn't start by looking outward. It starts here inside you. For years, perhaps your entire life, you've projected your own hopes, fears, and insecurities onto others. You saw saviors in flawed partners, geniuses in charismatic fools, villains in those who simply held different values. This wasn't seeing them, it was seeing the reflections of your own internal landscape. Growing awareness begins with withdrawing those projections. It's the painful, necessary work of untangling your needs from their reality. Have you ever felt a sudden disappointment in someone you once admired? Was it truly them who changed, or was it your perception finally clearing, like mist burning off in the morning sun? This initial clarity can feel like loss, like betrayal. But it's the first step, reclaiming your own story from the narratives you've imposed on others. It's seeing your own masks first. Society runs on performance. We curate our lives, present idealized versions, signal virtues we may not fully embody. Think about it: the relentless positivity online, the carefully constructed small talk at gatherings, the professional personas worn like armor. You learn the scripts, the expected responses, the subtle art of impression management. But as your awareness sharpens, you start seeing the cracks in the facade. You notice the flicker of envy behind a compliment, the desperation beneath the bravado, the deep insecurity driving the need for constant validation. This isn't about judging them harshly. It's about recognizing the performance. It's like watching a play and suddenly becoming aware of the actors, the stagehands, the director pulling the strings. The magic fades, replaced by a stark, sometimes unsettling, realism. You see the strings. You see the effort. And the detachment grows, not from malice, but from no longer being captivated by the illusion. Clarity, detachment, truth. There's more to it. As you observe, you start recognizing patterns, not just socially, but psychologically. Defense mechanisms, cognitive biases, trauma responses, ingrained scripts from childhood playing out in adult interactions. You see the person who constantly seeks conflict because it's the only way they know how to connect. The one who uses humor to deflect intimacy. The one whose fear of abandonment drives them to push people away. Before, you might have reacted emotionally, frustration, anger, pity. But now you see the mechanism. It's like a doctor diagnosing a symptom, not hating the illness, but understanding its nature. This is a crucial shift. It moves you from reactive judgment to objective observation. Think of Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor, writing in his Meditations. He constantly reminded himself of the flaws and predictable patterns of others, not out of spite, but to prepare himself, to manage his own reactions, to maintain his inner equilibrium. He saw clearly, not to condemn, but to navigate. So, you're seeing your own projections, the social performances, the psychological undercurrents. The world feels different, less magical, perhaps, but more real. The warmth of naive connection might be fading, replaced by something cooler, more distant. And here's where the doubt creeps in, the question society loves to ask. You've been told this is cynicism, that you're becoming bitter, jaded, negative. That seeing flaws is a flaw in itself. Society rewards optimism, often blind optimism. It prefers comfortable illusions to sharp truths. People will tell you to focus on the positive, to give people the benefit of the doubt, to essentially blur your vision again. They might say you've lost your empathy, that this detachment is a sign of emotional shutdown. Maybe you even tell yourself this. Is this clarity just a fancy word for building walls? Are you simply protecting yourself from further hurt by preemptively withdrawing? It's a seductive argument because it absolves others and places the burden of negativity squarely on you. But here's the twist, the part they don't want you to embrace. This clarity, this detachment, it isn't weakness. It isn't bitterness. It's an edge. It's the strategic advantage of seeing the terrain for what it is, not what you wish it were. Think about it. How much energy have you wasted trying to change people who refuse to change? How many times have you been blindsided by predictable patterns you chose to ignore? How often have you poured your soul into relationships or situations built on illusion? Clarity cuts through the noise. It allows you to conserve your energy, to set realistic boundaries, to invest your time and emotions wisely. It's not about controlling others. It's about mastering yourself in relation to them. It's seeing the game board. This isn't coldness, it's efficiency. It's power. Not power over, but power within. The power to navigate, to choose, to act from a place of understanding, not reaction. Clarity. Detachment. Power. This is the part no one tells you. Seeing clearly is the foundation of effective action. Let's take it deeper. This detachment has a rich history, particularly in Stoic philosophy and strategic thinking. The Stoics weren't emotionless. They sought apatheia, a state of mind free from disturbing passions, achieved through reason and clear judgment. They understood that most suffering comes not from events themselves, but from our reactions to them. By seeing people and situations clearly, without the distortion of excessive hope or fear, they could respond rationally and virtuously. Think of strategists like Sun Tzu, emphasizing the importance of knowing your enemy and yourself. This requires objective assessment, stripping away emotional bias. Does a general hate the opposing army? No. He studies their strengths, weaknesses, patterns, and maneuvers accordingly. This strategic detachment allows for effective planning and response. It's the ability to observe the human drama without getting swept away by it. What are you paying attention to right now, and is it worth the cost of your peace? But let's be honest. This clarity comes at a cost. Illusions are comforting. Believing in the inherent goodness of everyone, the simplicity of relationships, the fairy tale endings, it's easier. Seeing clearly means confronting uncomfortable truths, the prevalence of self-interest, the depth of human insecurity, the limitations of others, the often random nature of fortune and misfortune. It can feel isolating. You might find yourself unable to participate in the same superficial conversations, the same collective delusions. You see the emperor has no clothes, and you can't unsee it. Remember Carl Jung's concept of integrating the shadow? Acknowledging the darker, less palatable aspects of ourselves and humanity isn't about embracing darkness. It's about becoming whole. It's about understanding the full spectrum. You can chase the comforting lie and remain fragmented, forever reacting to shadows you refuse to acknowledge. Or you can embrace the difficult truth, integrate it, and find a deeper, more resilient form of peace. The detachment you feel isn't hatred. It's the quiet, sometimes lonely, but ultimately grounding weight of acceptance. Acceptance of reality. Acceptance of human nature in all its complexity. Acceptance of what is. Clarity. Acceptance. Wholeness. So, you don't hate people. You see them. You see the layers, the motivations, the fears, the masks, the potential, and the limitations. This clarity brings a natural detachment, a space between stimulus and response. This space is where your power lies. It's the freedom from compulsive reaction, the freedom from unrealistic expectations, the freedom from the exhausting charade of pretending not to see. It allows for compassion, not born from naive sentimentality, but from a deep understanding of the human condition, including your own. You can choose engagement more wisely, offer help more effectively, and protect your own peace more fiercely. Why does understanding others sometimes feel like rejection? Perhaps because it forces you to reject the illusion you held, not the person themselves. What truths emerge when illusions fade? The truth of imperfection, the truth of complexity, and the quiet, powerful truth of your own grounded awareness. This path isn't easy. It requires courage to look, honesty to accept, and wisdom to navigate. But the reward isn't bitterness, it's authenticity. It's a quiet strength that doesn't need noise or validation. So next time you feel that sense of detachment, that pang of disillusionment when observing others, pause. Ask yourself, is it hate? Or is it the sharp, liberating clarity of seeing things exactly as they are? What belief about people or relationships have you had to let go of as your own clarity has grown? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Let's explore this complex terrain together. Subscribe for more strategic breakdowns of the human mind and the path to self-mastery. See clearly. Live deliberately.